Yes.
Sir, what if a writer is attempting to create a story where nothing much happens, where people don't change, they don't have any epiphanies, they struggle and are frustrated and nothing is resolved? More a reflection of the real world.
The real world?
Yes, sir.
The real fucking world. First of all, you write a screenplay without conflict or crisis, you'll bore your audience to tears. Secondly, nothing happens in the world? Are you out of your fucking mind? People are murdered every day. There's genocide, war, corruption. Every fucking day, somewhere in the world, somebody sacrifices his life to save somebody else. Every fucking day, someone somewhere takes a conscious decision to destroy someone else. People find love. People lose it. For Christ's sake, a child watches a mother beaten to death on the steps of a church. Someone goes hungry. Somebody else betrays his best friend for a woman. If you can't find that stuff in life, then you, my friend, don't know crap about life. And why the fuck are you wasting my 2 precious hours with your movie? I don't have any use for it. I don't have any bloody use for it.
Okay, thanks.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the McJeffrey 500, the podcast where I count down my 500 favorite films, and I make my friends watch them one movie at a time. It is March 5th, 2015. Back with allergies in tow is the lovely Lily. Hello, Lily.
Hello, great to be here, Jeff.
Hey. This one here, I think we actually mentioned it in the previous podcast where she flat out forgot to show up. This time,
I camped out.
So we were supposed to start at 5. And so I thought, okay, well, I can run a couple of errands real quick because she won't be here till 5 at the earliest. And so I ran to the local supermarket, grabbed a few things, and lo and behold, before I can set up, before I can get my notes, before I could prepare her snack for the evening.
I'm roasting marshmallows on his front lawn, singing Kumbaya.
Yeah, certain people frown about that. Frown upon. They frown upon that. But we called them jerks. Anyway, so she got here early, so I have no notes, so I'm totally, this is podcast number 10, technically, this is the 10th one we've done, so I should have this stuff, memorized by now, and I think I did an okay job. I got the date out, got the intro, I brought Lily into the scene. This is your second appearance. It's 2. Feels like we don't see you enough.
This is number 3, actually.
No, we don't.
There was a test podcast.
We do not.
This is the third one.
We do not count.
Right.
We don't count the test podcast.
That was effort.
It was an E for effort. Congratulations. What have you done with that E since I gave it to you?
I put it in my pocket and I keep it there.
You look at it and you smile? You blow your nose into it? Okay.
I rub it. Ow, my head.
Okay. So, you'll hear Lily making a lot of guttural, gross sounds. It's allergy season, and she's very susceptible. So, please be patient with her. She's doing her best. Actually, I don't know if she's doing her best. She might just be overdoing it just to try to get a rise. I wouldn't put it past her. But, I'm gonna assume, for the good of the podcast, you are on your best behavior.
Nope.
I didn't think so.
I would never be for you, Jeffrey.
No.
Ever. Not ever.
Ever?
Ever.
Ever, ever?
That is what I said.
Never, ever.
Twice. No, not that. Not never.
Not never?
Not never, never. I said ever, ever.
Never, ever, never.
Yes.
Ever. Bubblicious. Bubble-yum.
Enough of that.
Alright, so generally at this point, we talk about... I just totally spit on my keyboard. Real professional. At this point, we generally talk about what we've seen in the last week. And I learned some harsh truths that Lily has seen nothing theatrically. And what she has seen, she doesn't want to talk about.
Well, there's been a lot of homeless that I've seen. There was a prostitute who had a bloody arm walking up to cars asking, can I have a ride? It was really creepy. I've seen a lot of things in my day.
Yes, but...
Not, a movie is not one of them. Not this week.
Not this week.
Not never, ever.
I was going to say, that sounds like an excellent movie. The Bloody Prostitute. I'd see that. I'd bring kids.
It's hard to unsee it.
Yeah, it'd be like one of those movies, one of those harsh films, kind of like Kids. I don't know if you're familiar with that film, where it just shows people... Like, this is where you're heading if you don't shape up, or ship out. Ship in, ship out, ship up, shape out, shape out.
Yeah.
Shape out, ship.
What he said.
That's what I said. So this is going to happen to you. You're going to be a bloody prostitute giving blowjobs for rides.
In the middle of the day.
In broad day.
It was that bad. She's the local prostitute. At least that's what my dad calls her.
Do we have a name for her?
I have not named her.
I
don't want to get attached. I can't bring her home.
I'm going to call her Bubbles.
Oh, Bubbles.
I'm going to call anyone I don't know. I just assume their name's Bubbles.
I'm just going to call her Fester.
Can we just combine them? Fester Bubbles? Bubbles Fester. Bubbles Fester! The prostitute.
Yeah, Fubbles.
Fubbles?
Fester.
Words are fun. Anyway, so I actually haven't seen anything this week either because I've been too busy, trying to...
Well, that makes for an interesting podcast.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we're already over 5 minutes in. We just need to cram in 10 more minutes of... Ramblings is the word I'm looking for. I did see... Alright, so I'll rewind a week back because I generally don't talk about what I've seen because usually the guest is very verbose, as I like them to be, when talking about the movie they've seen. I saw the DUFF. Are you familiar with the DUFF?
No.
Well, the DUFF is a teen movie. The DUFF stands for Designated Ugly Fat Friend. And the movie is about a young lady who is a plain Jane in movie terms. I.e., if this girl went to my high school, she'd be considered one of the cute ones. But her friends are so much hotter. I.e., supermodel, actually unrealistic. Why are you even high school? You should be, taking runways in Paris type girls. Anyway, so the movie's about her being a DUFF and embracing it and how she needs to... She dumps her hot friends so she can find her own identity. And she ends up spending time with her hot neighbor guy friend. And he teaches her how to be cool or how to be unduff. And then,
this is annoying already. I'm sorry, Jeffrey. Oh, God, the standards we put upon these poor girls.
I know, right? Anyways, they fall in love in the end. He has a real, bitch girlfriend. She's really hot and she knows it. And... she does some stuff in this movie where in real life she would literally be punched in the face at the least.
I know where she ended up.
Where'd she end up?
Looking for blowjobs.
Oh, it's Bubbles Fester. Blowjobs for car rides. Blowjobs for car rides. Name of the podcast.
Where you going?
Where do you go?
Oh, I'm not going to go there.
Bubbo. Where do you go? So, I saw that. It definitely tried to get in the same vein of like a Mean Girls or an Easy A, which are two movies I actually do enjoy that are teen films. Does not quite hit those marks. It has its moments, but it's way too cliche-ridden and way too cute. I saw a teen movie called Palo Alto last year, which felt absolutely, completely real to the point where it was slightly unnerving. I guess I prefer my teen movies being completely and utterly unnerving. Call me weird. Go ahead.
I wasn't going to say anything.
You weren't going to call me weird?
No, I wasn't going to call you weird.
Why don't you just call me weird?
I'm not going to call you weird.
I want you to call me weird.
I'm not going to call you weird.
Hey, I just saw you, and this is crazy.
Did you watch the movie Alone?
How do I Oh, I thought you were talking about a movie called Alone. No, I actually was with Person, who happened to also be a teenager, who is a friend. And
did she appreciate it?
No, she thought it was lame. So.
Well, there you have it. Burn the movie.
The movie is burned. We will never speak of the DUFF again.
I really wish I could burn down movies, though.
How would you do it?
A Molotov cocktail?
Molotov. Have you ever actually made a Molotov cocktail?
I don't know, but I almost lit myself on fire the other day.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time.
I just realized. that gasoline, you can light the fumes, and It almost lit the can on fire.
Were you lighting gasoline fumes?
Maybe.
Were you making art?
I was 5 feet away from it, and I didn't.
Oh, safety first. Yeah. Did you wear your goggles?
It was one of those moments where I should have known better, but the impatient person in me was flicking a lighter at the time. I didn't even realize I was flicking it, and it caught the stream that we were pouring on the bonfire and almost lit our faces on fire. I'll never do it again. Well, maybe.
You're going to be more careful next time, clearly.
I don't have to shave my arm hairs ever. I don't think they'll ever grow back now.
No, they'll probably grow back bigger and bushier than ever, right?
Well, excellent. Excellent. So maybe I'll just go into the woods looking for Bigfoot as a mate. Because I'm that hairy.
I'm just saying, my sister once shaved her arms as a young child. And then someone informed her, by shaving your arms, that your hair's going to grow back darker and bushier. And she's 8. And my sister totally flipped out and freaked out and just couldn't get over it. So I think she has a paranoia about arm hair now. I don't know if this urban legend is actually true. I think there is certain proof to it. If you shave a certain area, it does grow back quicker and more.
I don't see why it would grow back quicker. That doesn't make any sense to me.
All right, so grow back more pronounced.
Why don't we shave your arms?
No.
And then we'll find out.
No.
I can't shave mine. Mine are burned off. It's a little bit different.
Well, we're just going to have to wait for the results of your arm hair experiment.
I'm telling you, I singed the skin.
No, you're going to... Well, you probably should be in a hospital then, because you probably got a certain degree of burn. And
hospitals, fucking... I got Band-Aids.
Wait, so you're saying that you found a method that removes arm hair without growing back? You should start a business.
I should market that?
You should, start,
Are you suffering from arm hair issues? Are you hairier than Bigfoot? Well, I've got a solution for you.
Where's my lighter?
Hold on. Where's my pocket? Oh, that's right. Oh. Let's burn it! Burn them all off! Burn the hair! Oh, sorry, I got a little enthusiastic about that.
No, clearly.
Can you tell that I love fire?
Do you love the smell of burnt arm hair?
I don't really.
No.
I know that you do.
I
have caught you burning your own hair.
You bared witness. I went through a very, very short phase where
burn and sniff phase.
I was completely enamored with burning my beard hair. Just putting it to an open flame and just watching it crackle and just contort. But the smell became too much, and I had to retire this new hobby. I'm so alone. You know what? Let's talk about what we're about to watch. You ready for this?
I've been ready for a week.
I know, right?
What are we watching, Jeffrey?
I'm going to tell you right now. The movie's already ready.
Give me that.
No. It's in the DVD player, but I do have my Netflix award-winning breakdown of what we're about to watch. Here we go. Released in 2002. Charlie Kaufman is a Los Angeles screenwriter battling enormous feelings of insecurity and impotence as he struggles to adapt The Orchid Thief, a book by Susan Orlean, whose main character, John LaRoche, searches for love. Add to the mix Charlie's twin brother, Donald, and you have a surreal, Spike Jonze-directed gem about the search for passion. We're about to watch what?
You can't say passion like that. You have to say passion.
I'll start over.
Thank you.
From Spike Jonze-directed gem
From
about
the
the
guts, come, not
from
from
the
the
search
nose.
of passion. I sound Creole. Okay, we're about to watch Adaptation, and let me tell you right now, this description of the movie is completely off. Completely, it totally misses the point of the movie, which is thank you, Netflix. Always amusing. All right, I'm about to present you with your snack. So
I'm not eating raisins.
you are eating raisins.
No, I'm not eating raisins.
All right. Well, talking to the mic while I go grab it for you.
Hello, Mike. How are you today?
Yeah, tell the mic a story.
Once upon a time. No, seriously, what are we eating?
Hey, I'm about to get it. You just chill out.
I'm not gonna chill. I want to know. I need to know. I'm not talking to this thing. It's staring at me. Ew. Put it away.
All right. You're going to have coffee and banana nut muffin.
Ooh.
All right.
Waking up for the last time.
We'll be back.
She hates me. She's disappointed. I could see it in her eyes when we met. I've got to stop sweating. Oh, she looked at my hairline. She thinks I'm bald. She's thinking I would never in a million years sleep with this guy.
We think you're great.
Oh, thanks. Wow, that's nice to hear.
To begin, coffee would help me think. Coffee and a muffin.
I'm going up to Santa Barbara this Saturday, and I was wondering.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
so I'll just
Sorry.
be right back with your pie then.
Drum roll, please. I'm gonna be a screenwriter, like you.
I'm putting in a chase sequence. So the killer flees on horseback, cops after them on a motorcycle. And it's like a battle between motors and horses. Like technology versus horse.
Susan, we would really like to option this. You want to make it into a movie? I want to know what it feels like to care about something passionately. John LaRoche is a tall guy, sharply handsome.
The book has no story. There's no story. Make one up.
Okay, we open with LaRoche. No, we open at the beginning of time. Okay, we open with LaRoche.
Crazy white man.
We open on Charlie Kaufman. Fat, bald, ugly, paces.
I've written myself into my screenplay. That's kind of weird, huh?
I guess we thought that maybe Susan and LaRoche could fall in love.
I just don't want to ruin it by making it a Hollywood thing. It's like I don't want to cram in sex or guns or car chases or characters overcoming obstacles to succeed in the end. She's crying. What's she hiding from us? I think you actually need to speak to this woman to know her.
People find love. People lose it. Every day, someone somewhere takes a conscious decision to destroy someone else. Who's gonna play me? I think I should play me.
Under pressure.
And we are back. We just finished Adaptation. This would be the Spike Jonze directed, Charlie Kaufman written film. It's very much a meta film. Before we get into it, Lily, welcome back.
Hello.
All right. I'll be happy to give you some backstory and a little synopsis for the people at home or in your car, wherever the heck you people listen to this. But first off, your impressions on the film, just watching it, film finished literally 2 minutes ago. Not literally, but approximately. We'll go for that one.
I could have sworn he was going to end up the martyr. Instead, it was his brother. But by the way, they totally didn't have to make a twin for this. It was already maddening enough. And it actually was. It was like a mirror image of the story that his brother was writing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, it was like a mixture of that structure.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good observation on that. Basically, what we got here is a movie within a movie kind of... actually, it's hard to describe this movie without explaining the backstory.
It makes you want to bash your head into a wall.
Well, actually, if you know some insight of how this became, it's kind of less maddening. Charlie Kaufman is a real person. He wrote the screenplay. Susan Orlean is a real person. The Orchid Thief is a real book. LaRoche is a real character that she wrote about. Charlie Kaufman was actually brought this book to write a screenplay about. Which is essentially about a woman who follows this guy who's at that moment obsessed with, elusive flowers.
Was he supposed to be portrayed as this, genius?
Well, that's how he's portrayed in the book, in so many words, or more of a intellectual, but he's definitely does not lack... He definitely doesn't write on the side of humility, let's just put it that way.
Well, I got the impression that besides him being completely socially awkward, like, in the beginning of the movie, it's like he's so introvert and awkward that he's like, okay, well, he's got to be this genius person, right? Well, then his brother comes about, and then he starts questioning himself, and then you start to take on the perspective that he's actually somewhat of an idiot.
Okay, so we're actually talking about Kaufman. I was actually talking about LaRoche, so let's back it up. Charlie Kaufman is I'm assuming... The person he portrays in the movie is a version of him. I don't know how often he, based on this, he definitely doesn't hold back punches if this is how he truly feels about himself. He constantly calls himself bald and fat, and I counted 1, 2, 3 scenes where he's masturbating to some person he just saw, maybe in a diner or on a book.
And it kind of felt like he was like this stalker type of person because he's just so introverted.
He's an introvert that doesn't want to be an introvert. You can see that he's like he wants to get out of his skin,
scratching at the walls of his eyes.
But he's completely awkward. But but this is the guy who brought us Being John Malkovich, which in 1999 was considered a pretty revolutionary movie because it, took existing John Malkovich, played John Malkovich, and a guy played by John Cusack finds a portal into the brain of John Malkovich. Crazy. But it was critically acclaimed, came out in 1999, which was the excellent year, last great year of movies, and it stood out amongst the...
That's because everyone thought they were going to die in 2000.
Maybe, perhaps. At least we had some good cinema to fall back on. He also wrote Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is another film that I very much love, and would go on to direct a film called Schenectady, New York, or Synecdoche. Schenectady, I believe is what it's called. Also a incredibly original work, which actually stars Philip Seymour Hoffman. May he rest in peace. One of my favorite actors. Well, where are we getting at? Anyway, so he legitimately had writer's block, trying to adapt. He's always written from original ideas. This is the first time he attempted to adapt something, and he completely, obviously based on the film, could not get a grasp. He was just obsessed with making a film about flowers. But how do you make a film about flowers? How do you make it interesting? Blah, blah, blah.
And then he fell in love with the writer and started masturbating all over the place.
And then suddenly, before you know it, he's writing himself in the script. This actually all happened.
God, that's so sad.
He literally wrote this screenplay and turned it in as an adaptation of The Orchid Thief, and pretty much assumed that his career in Hollywood as a screenwriter was over. But some people took a liking to his script, and Spike Jonze, who directed Being John Malkovich, championed this screenplay, and this ended up being Spike Jonze's second film adaptation. And the rest is history. It's interesting to note that Susan Orleans was taken a bit aback initially, learning, like, because you write a book and they tell you it's going to be opted into a movie, like, oh, okay, and then you see this. It's definitely not what you expect, but she's actually grown to be a big supporter of the film. Good sport. And yeah, and the movie is just, it goes into, as a person who likes to write, like, the beginning monologue is just kind of just a free flow of just talking about insecurities for almost a good 5 minutes.
Oh, I'm fat and nobody loves me.
And, like, I need a girlfriend, I need to work out, I need to start jogging 5 miles a day, blah, blah,
I mean,
blah.
we all have that conversation in our head in the beginning of our day. I mean, maybe not every single day, just on our depressed days.
I think when we're most vulnerable, we have these inner monologues.
God, but his was just super pathetic.
And, yeah, well, I can...
I just felt dirty listening to him, like, ugh.
Well, he's bearing his soul, or what, he has a very poor self-image of himself, and he feels like he puts it out there in the ether that, maybe this will help, and essentially just kind of makes everything worse. But where was I getting at? But it's totally relatable, because I used to write kind of free-flowing, turn mine kind of into a poetry somewhat, where I just would just write what's right in my mind right in that moment, and it really read like that, which is, when I first saw the film, is like very eerie. I'm a little less self-deprecating, but I am critical of myself, so I found it relatable. What I also found exceptionally relatable is the idea of writer's block, and I'm sure as an artist, you probably have come across artist block. Or maybe you haven't. Maybe I should not assume. Artist block, have we had it?
Yeah, I think every artist does have it.
Yeah, I think any creative.
Every creative soul does.
I turned the washer off, Mom. We are in my mother's house. She's trying to do laundry. We're doing a podcast. And we will be done in about...
We are anti-clean laundry in this house. We all smell.
No.
Except for... Now we're not.
Oh, no, we're not. I forgot where I was getting at. Yeah, so writer's block had that. You do the whole thing where, you mentioned it. The whole, you've tried finding excuses to not start what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely. Well, actually, it started off with the coffee. Yeah, should I reward myself with coffee? No. And then you started getting distracted, and every little thing around you is like, that's more interesting than what you're doing.
Exactly. You'd be like...
so much for what you love.
Well, that's the thing. Once you start doing it, it's like you can't stop. That was with me. When I wrote... Once I started writing, it would just flow out of me. It would just vomit out of my pen. Just, prose after prose after just, and I couldn't be succinct. I just completely would just fill up a pad of paper. But to get to that point was sometimes a trial. And it took me essentially doing stuff like, I will reward myself if I actually do this. I will treat myself to some terrible fast food. No, don't mind the sound of the microwave in the background. This podcast is raw. We're not in any type of studio. Someday, though. Maybe by podcast 300, I'll actually get a legit studio. It'd be pretty cool.
Fancy.
I know, right?
It'll take about 7 years, I expect.
Yeah, 7 years, good things are going to happen. I mean, maybe...
It's a good number.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there.
So why did you choose this film for me?
Well, you haven't seen it. There's that. And I thought you might appreciate a movie, essentially, which is, it's autobiographical about a creative. Obviously, you are not in the introvert persuasion. You are extroverted to a T, which I adore. But, the whole process, the whole, how he wants to do something incredibly original, but still stay true to a source. He wants to, as far as the author goes, he wants to make sure he respects the material, but he still wants to make something exceptionally original, which is what people expect from him.
What's up with the alligator scene? Because that didn't happen.
All right. That's the beauty of the movie. At one point, he calls on his brother, which, by the way, he does not have an actual twin brother, to help him finish the script. Because if you remember, he goes to that seminar with the screenwriting class. And the
oh my god, see, that's what I was talking about. His brother had this character in his story that had another personality. And then he was saying how ridiculous that sounded. And so they wrote a whole story that's basically another personality. They just gave it a twin.
Yeah, essentially.
It's a freaking facade, and it's annoying.
Well, you recall that the McKay, the guy in the seminar, basically said, the film needs drama, and you can cover a movie by having one strong final act. And that's when the brother comes in. Basically from the point where the brother is interviewing a brother named Donald, pretty much goes in as Philip interviewing Susan Orlean, he basically takes over the writing of the film. And so we go from being a subversive, kind of very meta, very just wordy look into the mind of a man with major insecurities into something, dare we say, more Hollywood. So basically, every character suddenly changes, specifically Susan.
No, I didn't notice that. I didn't notice.
You did.
I mean, I noticed the changes because they weren't subtle, but I didn't think about it associated with his brother writing at the end of the film. And that makes me respect the film a little bit more instead of go, oh god, why?
No, because he asked for his help, and
he gave him a real ending.
He gave him a very cliche-ridden, they're hiding from Susan, who is, a New Yorker journalist who now has a drug problem. The ghost orchid that
they're snorting orchid dust.
They're snorting orchid dust to get high. So now she's a drug addict, and he finds out about her addiction, and she must kill him. So then the movie just goes into the swamp. And, then there's revelations between the two brothers. They have a moment. There's a gator attack. There's a car chase. There's a death. There's a use of a classic pop song. And, the script completely does a 180 in style. Same characters, but, tonally, I guess it's like one half.
Like a split personality.
Exactly. Quick story. I saw this movie with one of my best friends, Pierce, who you very well know, and his wife at the time. We saw Adaptation. And as we left the film, without any irony, mind you, Christine, I'm sorry, I just named her. Hi, Christine. Said, yeah, the first part was kind of boring, but I really liked it at the end. And then it got good. It's like, that's the problem. That's the problem. This is the movie people are basically programmed to enjoy. The hit the beats, hit the familiarity. For me, familiarity breeds contempt, as cliche as that sounds. It's true. And though I appreciate what they did at the end, sometimes watching it again when I know it's about to turn, it's kind of cringe-inducing at times.
That's how I feel a lot about visual art, and it's like the schooling, because this film touches a lot on the schooling of writing scripts. There's a word for that. What's that?
Screenwriting?
Yeah, there's two words for that. Thank you.
No, screenwriting is one word.
Okay. Thank you for that.
No problem.
The more you know. But no, it's like I was having this conversation over an art store the other day with this artist I met, and he was talking about how art school was basically fucking up everyone because, well, in so many words, I'm compressing our conversation, but how you're teaching everyone just a certain way of doing something, and it's concoction. What the fuck is the word I'm looking for?
Basically, you're providing parameters, rules. Basically, you're giving people...
Formula. That's the word I'm looking for.
That's a good one.
God, I must be tired. It is the end of the day. So yeah, there's a formula. There's a set formula. And throughout this movie, it was saying there's a formula of doing it. It was setting it up for you. So that's actually the genius of the movie. But it's enough to drive you mad because it's so mixed up and all over the place.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm not an artist, but I definitely can see where you're definitely coming from with that. Where, it's a difference between, like... Thomas Kincaid. He knows what sells. And same with screenwriters. There's certain screenwriters who will always get work and always will be successful, but they are hacks.
Genre writing and genre painting, same fucking thing.
Exactly. There's very little difference. Ultimately, you're completely right about that. So, as far as the movie's accolades go, this movie did win a Best Supporting Actor for one. Chris Cooper, who played LaRoche, Meryl Streep, and Nicolas Cage were both nominated. This is actually the last time Nicolas Cage has been nominated for Best Actor. And he actually went against his instincts, because if you've seen enough bad Nicolas Cage films, he's usually turns it up to 11. He's kind of wild-eyed, crazy. He's very subdued in this. And he basically, he behaved himself. And behaving himself, got him an Oscar nom. And now he's back to being crazy-eyed Nicolas Cage, who some people love. I'm not one of them. I like subdued Cage, kind of like Robin Williams. I always liked subdued Williams. Didn't care for wacky Williams. May he rest in peace. What else can we speak on this? Because I didn't make notes because you came early.
Sorry, my bad. Just trying to be a good friend and all.
It's alright. Stop being so considerate.
Alright.
No, please.
I'm going to start with a fart.
Please be considerate. Always be considerate. Alright, so Spike Jonze would go on to make Where the Wild Things Are. It's another film of his. Like we said, Charles Kaufman would go on to write Eternal Sunshine. I think that came out a year later, and then he would direct Schenectady, New York. So they have these unique visions, and it's always fun to see a unique director mingle with a unique screenwriter. Now, Spike Lee's films are usually known to have these visual touches, these little incredible moments, where Adaptation, I think, is probably his most tame example of that. I think the wizardry, for the most part, is the seamlessness of the Nicolas Cage twins. When you see bad twin shows or what have you, you see the camera work. You see, like, okay, you're
I was looking for them or at least like a faux touch or something to show gravity or different lighting. I was really looking for the seams, and I didn't see it.
No, they pulled it off really well. Did you ever see A Social Network?
No.
Okay, well, we'll get around to that one eventually. I was going to say a little side note. That movie has the most impressive use of twins, because it's one actor that I didn't even realize. When I watched the movie, I didn't find out afterwards that I thought it was twins. It was one actor the whole time. So that was kind of amazing. Alright, got off on a little tangent there. Moving on. Alright.
Moved
on. So.
Do it
now. So that's Adaptation. That is my 491st favorite film of all time. Would you say that, or 491st, yeah, that's what I said. 491. Would you say that's the 491st greatest film you've ever seen?
No.
No? Higher?
600.
600?
I haven't seen that many films.
Oh my god. It's so low. It's like even lower than movies you haven't seen. Not a fan? Wasn't feeling it?
You know what? I related a lot to it, and I appreciate it, and that was enough. The fact that it disturbed me a little bit, it was enough to make me actually like the movie.
Good.
So I do appreciate it, and it probably is within the 400.
Okay, I'll accept that. I can never tell how you feel about a film because you are like me, where you'll watch a movie and, unless it's like, a bawdy comedy, you don't react a whole lot. I'm looking at the back of your head, staring at it constantly, because you've got a beautiful new haircut, and I can't tell, like, sometimes, like, is she asleep? Is she paying attention? I assume she's paying attention. So then I have my inner Charlie.
I was wholly captivated throughout the whole film. I was analyzing. There's just so many things to pay attention to.
And I that's what I surmised at the end. Surmised that, you were just, in just watching it, paying attention,
The fact that I didn't try to have a conversation with you during the film, that means I did enjoy it, I must say.
Which is funny, because generally every other person I watch films with tend to talk to me a little bit. I mean, everyone watches films differently, I suppose. But I appreciate that.
No, it all really depends on the film.
Oh, for sure. Let's see. So I've had you watch this, and then we watched the Bus 174. Mm-hmm. You got Better Off Dead. That was a joyous comedy, but that was a test podcast. Didn't really count. So we're gonna have to get another happy film in there eventually.
I love that every single film that you've presented is artistic in some way.
Well, that's gonna be most films, because I tend to like a film that kind of separates itself from the pack, that has something to say or has something to show.
I'm sorry, I guess I'm just so used to shitty films are all around me. I'm not going to name names, but it's a constant flow of shit films that I end up falling asleep or drawing.
We'll get around to some zombie films, I guarantee you that. So many zombie films. Zombie's a good genre. But the ones that I've seen that I enjoy, you've probably seen. But I appreciate you appreciating my films. And that's why I brought you on.
Such a polite conversation.
It is.
I appreciate you appreciating my taste. So I appreciate you even more. I'm sure you appreciate me right back.
Oh, I can feel your appreciation. It's like a warm blanket.
I appreciate that.
You appreciate this appreciation blanket? New name of the podcast, Appreciation Blanket. Alright, we are totally padding right now. Let's talk about something else.
I don't want to talk about anything else. I think we're done.
We're done? This will be a short-ass podcast.
It doesn't matter.
This will be the shortest podcast ever.
What time is it?
We got about 7 minutes.
Oh, 7 minutes. Let's talk about the chocolate you got on your shirt.
Oh, is that totally... Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was still dark in here. Notice the chocolate on my titty? Chocolate titties.
I went to go to the bathroom and come back and you're like snarfing down this ice cream. I was like, why did you snarf it down so quickly? Jeez, enjoy
because I just had a Snickers ice cream bar. And then...
You didn't want to seem like you were fat or something?
I'm wearing black. It's slimming.
Absolutely.
Okay, so...
With chocolate on the pocket.
So I gave you your butternut muffin. I'm like, alright.
Butternut?
Sorry, banana nut. I'm sorry. I meant to give you the butternut.
Damn it, it was the wrong muffin.
It's a butternut.
It tasted like peanut butter, not banana.
So is it peanuts? Is that the official nut on the banana nut?
'Twas peanuts, not walnuts, not almonds.
Not Brazil nuts.
Especially not Brazil nuts.
Yeah, so I had my ice cream bar and you went to the bathroom. I finished my ice cream bar. I was like, oh, I bought another ice cream. So I'm gonna.
But you were like, oh, you had only a quarter of it left by the time I got back, and I wasn't even going that. You're a magician.
I was hungry. I haven't ate all day. I still have. That's what I have digested thus far today. As soon as you leave, I will eat something else. Yeah, you saw the pizza.
I did.
Spoiler.
Pizza. How come you don't get good pizza?
Because
was it Tony's?
Yeah.
It was Tony's. You realize that it's okay. It's acceptable for the Tony's brand to have fecal matter inside of their pizza.
I know. It's a 3 meat and fecal matter pizza. That's what I go for. No, here's what I like about it. It's $2.25. And when it's the day before payday, that is appealing, especially when I have my little basket of change that I'm taking in, and I'm too ashamed to actually go to a register with a person, so I have to go to the automated one and start putting my quarters in the slot to pay for my 2 ice cream sandwiches and my pizza and my milk. I'm so sad.
Why? You just ate 2 ice cream bars and
You're
about to
right.
eat pizza. You should be happy.
I should, and that's why I got him, to be happy. But I feel empty. No, I actually don't. I feel like I'm full of ice cream. But
not for long.
Pizza. Yeah, I can start doing an inner monologue, a Charlie Kaufman monologue right now. But I won't.
Oh man, my butt feels like it's glued to this chair. This bra is digging into my shoulders. I feel like I'm a hunchback. I'm not trying to make hunchbacks feel bad or anything. Jeez, I have to pee. It makes me feel like my fat's rolling over my pants.
These listeners, you're making all these listeners excited talking about your butt and bra. Like, who is this girl? Their pictures. Let's look up Lily Moon, see what happens. Hey, if I put your name into Google, is there images? Or
Chinese porn star, probably.
Chinese porn star Lily Moon.
Porn star.
Porn star? I didn't know you were a Chinese porn star.
Or did I until just now?
Lily Moon, Chinese porn star. New name of the this podcast. Tell your friends. All right, we will officially wrap it up now. Here's my spiel. Thank you for joining me for this film. I feel like we accomplished a lot by explaining everything that was worth explaining. And we will see you in 3 weeks.
We won't see you at all.
Or we will hear you in 3 weeks.
Unless I give you his number and you can text him pictures of yourself.
You could. Don't.
His number is 916.
Oh, she got the area code. Oh, snap.
That's all I got for you.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I only know 3 numbers now.
No. We are... Cell phones. There was a time when I honestly probably had a dozen numbers memorized.
Yeah, me too. And now you just can't.
I barely know my own
play
number.
With phone cords anymore. Yeah, exactly.
I know my number and I know my mom's number.
Our brains are rotting from convenience.
That's good. That's good. We should put that in a script.
Deep.
So deep. Put her ass to sleep. Well, no, the chair beat me to it. All right. So. Thank you for listening. Let me give you the ending spiel now. Intro music provided by Austin Graham. To hear more, go to YouTube, SoundCloud, or Facebook. Just put in Austin Oz Graham. That is Austin like the city, Oz like the wizard, Graham like the cracker. Special shout out goes to Engineer Travis, without whom I would not be in your ears. In fact, a little side note, I am going to be on Travis's podcast here pretty soon. He's starting his own podcast. I've inspired him. It's going to be exciting. More on that later. So, yay, 2 podcasts for me. I'm a busy boy.
Great, we're never going to get to hang out.
We're hanging out now.
This is not really hanging out.
We'll hang out tomorrow. Or no, not
no,
tomorrow.
No, we won't.
I'm totally busy tomorrow.
I got stuff to do.
Well, whose fault is that?
Yours.
Oh, yeah.
It's never my fault.
Okay. Next week.
Don't make me promises you can't keep.
Friday next week?
Sure.
All right. It's locked. Wait.
You better not cancel them.
No, okay, I got plans on Saturday, Friday, I'm good.
Don't fuck up your life.
We're totally hanging out next Friday.
Yes.
Okay, we will leave you with, let's just leave you with the Turtles singing Happy together. Of course, that's the song that ends the movie. Until next time, you fat fucks. I bid you.
Why are they fat?
I'm just quoting an insult from the movie, that's what I did.
I know, but that was kind of rude.
I'm sorry, fat fucks. I bid you adieu.
Girl you love and hold her tight, so happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, it ease my mind. Imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together.